That is strange that both would win those honors, and it would happen on the same day and so many years apart, and then wind up here in this football game tonight. And this is an early game for these two teams as far as normally what they have played in the past. Rick Neuheisel, the second youngest coach right now in Division I. Ron Cooper of Louisville is the only one younger than him, and I think we're only talking about a few days. But it's been a transition that has been very smooth. He was the offensive coordinator. He was the quarterback coach. Howard Snellenberger. First conference game, Mike, in 171 games. For people at home saying, wait a minute, why? Because Miami was independent, because Louisville was independent. In fact, the last conference game he played in, I think, was when he was head coach of the Baltimore Colts.
And he got fired.
Well, it is a situation that the man, he traveled all over this state. In a 9-day period, they went to over 30 cities. He talked to the people. He pressed the flesh just like a politician. And he said, I'm here to sell you something, and it's not a bill of goods. Get on board this wagon, and we're going to try to take it in the right direction. Tonight, I think that's what's so big for them in this ball game, Mike, is because he wants them to. They bought it. It's going well, but they got to continue.
And you're right, Ron. And he made a statement this week. He said, we're going to kick Colorado's rear end. And I think he did that to build up his players and give them some confidence. But he's out there, and every one of the Colorado players has that tack to their locker room.
To the near side is Troutman. That's Lyndon Henry to the far side. Herschel Troutman, an average of 15.7. You can see his longest, just under 40. Jeremy Alexander kicks it off, and this meeting between Colorado and Oklahoma is underway. Out of the end zone, so it gives us an opportunity to check the Russell Athletic starting lineups. For Colorado, John HESSLER, think about it. Last week he had about 15 seconds to think about playing. Now he's had an entire week. The wide receivers, Ray Caruth. He may be one of the speediest receivers in America. Some people say he runs under 4.2. And the offensive line, this is really an outstanding group. But the man there in the middle, Brian Stoltenberg out of Sugar Land, Texas, he is an extremely fine one, and that's where it all starts right there. He not only calls the defensive calls, great experience, and a very, very fine offensive center. Troutman on the first play, and a flag comes down as he stopped at the line of scrimmage. John Laurie, the referee in tonight's ball game, says it's motion against Oklahoma. The starters defensively for the OU Sooners, running from the 4-3. Cedric Jones doesn't say a lot, but a lot of people say he is a quiet assassin. Very fast group of linebackers. You will see Broderick Simpson, 51, all over this field tonight. He can run with a lot of the running backs. And in the secondary, some good ones back here. Malin Wesley has won the job at free safety and has become one of the real leaders on this defensive team. First pass. Got it complete. Near sideline to James Kidd, and he will be pushed out of bounds at the 32-yard line. And just like that, Oklahoma has given up their first down to Colorado.
What Oklahoma has to stop in this Colorado offense tonight, if you see in the last week's ball game against A&M, they had over 20 plays of 10 yards or more versus A&M last week. It says 15 there, but there was really 20 plays. And they had one drive of 13 plays against Texas A&M. So they're a big play offense that Oklahoma has to shut down.
You see the Buffaloes in that two tight end alignment. Only one setback, and it goes to Troutman. Troutman not very big at 5'7", 180, but you could see heads go back as he popped it hard into the line of scrimmage.
John HESSLER, the quarterback tonight, the coaches from Colorado told me yesterday that he had an excellent week of practice.
Mike, some people said, well, last week he didn't have much time to think about it. Now he's had an entire week. You kind of take an opposite opinion of that, don't you?
Yeah, he got more snaps in practice this week, so it really his intensity's got to be a little bit better this week.
Option back into the boundary, and he takes a pretty good shot as he's knocked out of bounds just across the 35. It's Brent DeQuacy who is over there, the first Sooner to get to him. I told you, these linebackers, you'll see DeQuasie, Simpson, and Tyrell Peters, and they are all over the field.
Ron, going back to what you said about John HESSLER, he's been in the program for 3 years. So that's 2 spring practices, so he's had a lot of practice time in this offense. Of course, you're in a different role when you're the guy that you're counting on, but that's what you expect of your backup quarterback. Step up.
Well, let's see if he can come through and convert on this one with the 3rd down. HESSLER sets. He's going to be sacked first time tonight. Cedric Jones, the senior out of Houston Lamar. He's there to wrap him up. Big number 57, the quiet assassin.
And that's what you want in your ball club when you're at home and you want the crowd in the ball game. You want a big sack right off the bat. Cedric Jones gives you that against Clint Moore, the left tackle. Oklahoma should end up with good field position, Ron. Kicking into the wind.
P.J. Mills back into deep safety. Look at the wind. Hold this punt up. It is going to hit at the 39 and now takes a Colorado bounce. And P.J. Mills hollers, get away from it. 33 yards on the kick. This is the way the Sooners will start with the youngster Eric Moore at quarterback, and he's got to get off to a fast start, faster than he has the last couple of weeks. The wide receivers, Oklahoma loves their tight ends, particularly Stephen Alexander, really fine athlete and good hands. And up front, this is a veteran offensive line. Stamp's probably the most consistent, but Mike, this is the first time in a year because of injuries that this entire group has been together. Running play on first down, and Moore cracked hard by 6, now 7 white shirt Colorado Buffaloes. This is the way they start. Kerry Hicks, number 94. Mike, every time we do them, it seems as though he comes up with a big ball game. Out of Salt Lake City. The linebackers, Matt Russell, he plays in the middle. His teammates say he's just simply a madman. He's a perfect middle linebacker. This is a good group in the secondary. A couple of inexperienced players, but Donnell Liamidi, he's Mr. Big Play for Colorado. Pass to Mills. Now this is what he does best. He can catch the short ball and turn it into something big.
Ron, I think the big factor in this ball game tonight is whether or not Oklahoma can score against Colorado, and the big onus goes on the offensive line. Eric Moore, the left-hander, quarterback Howard Snellenberger, and Gary Nord, the offensive coordinator, really like him. He's 23 out of 53, 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown.
Oklahoma with the players shaken up and down at the 46-yard line, and you can see Moore is up checking on James Allen, the junior out of Wynwood, Oklahoma. He is the tailback. He and Moore have been, they used to share time. Now they're in the same backfield, but you can see the trainers are looking at his right ankle. Well, we hope that he only stunned it. You see the grimace. Sometimes you do just stun it. It seems bad at first, and then after you walk around a little bit, it's better. Jeff Frazier will come in, and he is an extremely good replacement. Number 19, a junior out of Oklahoma City. Frazier is 6'1", 213 pounds, and you see his numbers, and the average at 7.2. All coaches would love to have a replacement who had a 7-yard per carry average.
They really have 3 good running backs.
Running play, wow. Moore hit at the line of scrimmage, and that is Matt Russell, the middle linebacker who we just talked about. They call him a madman, and he's perfect for that middle linebacking position. He loves to put a headgear in there.
Ron, I'm going to repeat that. I think the offensive line of Oklahoma, the game's in their hands tonight, whether or not they can handle this Colorado front and run the football. That's going to be the key because they want to take pressure off of Eric Moore, the young quarterback.
He lost 2 yards, so it's 2nd down and 11. Colorado shows blitz, and here they come. Under pressure, gets it away. Has his tight end, Alexander. They had singled up on the coverage because of the blitz, and it is a 1st down, Oklahoma. Mike Phillips was applying the pressure.
Yeah, they brought Mike Phillips, number 91, just trying to pressure Eric Moore, but he just stands right in there, finds his tight end, Stephen Alexander, for a good gain. When the new coaching staff came in, Eric Moore thought they were going to switch him to receiver. He went up to see Gary Norton. He said, "I'm not a receiver. I'm going to be a quarterback." And he has shown him so far that he is a good quarterback.
He really has. James Allen, okay, he is back in the lineup for Oklahoma. Colorado sets the blitz again and the run straight ahead. Russell and Kerry Hicks will combine on the stop. Mike, let me ask you something. Last week against Texas A&M, Colorado just blitzed and blitzed and blitzed. Can they afford to do that? I mean, they're starting off that way tonight, but more, you have to defend him because he can run the football.
You're right. He's the hidden factor, because if you blitz Eric Moore and he gets out of that pocket, you're running man coverage with your secondary. Eric Moore is capable of big plays and scrambling in his offense.
What do you do, rolling more?
Rolling, get him on the outside more.
Has time, gets his tight end again. Steven Alexander will take it to the 31. And Mike Tirico, let's check in with you the first time tonight.
Well, Ron, Southern Cal is looking to move to 2-0 in the Pac-10. Looks like they'll be able to do it. Brad Otten now in at quarterback. Third touchdown to the tight end, John Allred. An 18-yarder. USC leading Arizona State 16-0.
Well, Mike, they may be fortunate that this was their draw this week with the suspensions and all the distractions. And, you know, Mike, that happened so late. Even if it happened early in the week, it would have been tough, but it's tough to make adjustments when it happens late in the week.
Sometimes your players rise to a different level when something like that happens.
Middle linebackers blitz again, but it's an awfully good block in front, and Allen will have the first down as Roska comes up to make the tackle, and that was Gerald Moore, number 7, who pancaked the defensive play.
Watching tape today on Oklahoma, Gerald Moore is the complete back. He'll block as a fullback. He's a good, solid runner, has great hands out of the backfield. Before this game's over, you're going to see number 7, Gerald Moore, with some big catches, but he's got the whole package, Ron.
It was Greg Jones that he was blocking on, so the Sooners moved the chains. We have no score, about to go under 9 minutes this opening quarter, and the running play, and look at the quickness of the pursuit of Colorado. Moore tries to turn the corner, but he can't get it done, and it's Merkerson who comes over to make the hit.
You talk about Colorado. They made a complete switch on defense now. They're more of a blitzing team. They were a 50 defense last year, 5 down linemen. Now they're a 4-3 team, and they've really kind of gone to the Nebraska philosophy. Hey, we're going to heat you up, sick them, penetrate, all that. So it's a different style of defense under Rick Neuheisel.
Mike, more and more teams are getting away from the read defenses.
They want that speed on the field.
That's Moore in motion. Gives it to Allen, breaks the tackle, has 5, has 10, counted off to the 11-yard line, and Ryan Olson finally will put a stop on him, and the 75,000 partisans really like it.
What Oklahoma did with a great call here is motioned out Moore here, so that leaves just one linebacker in the box. Really, the safety's going to have to end up making this play. On James Allen, there's just nobody in the middle of the field. A good call by Gary Norton.
10th play of the drive coming up. They go back with Gerald Moore. He will have 5 yards as he takes it at right guard, and Darrell Price wraps him up.
The other big question for Colorado is tonight they came off a very emotional A&M game. You know, when you have back-to-back games like this, Oklahoma's been pumped for this game. They had San Diego State, SMU, and North Texas. They really haven't played the opponents that Colorado has played.
So it's a second down if you've just joined us. Colorado picked up 1 first down, but had to kick it away, and now the Sooners on an extended drive with a second down inside the 10. James Allen maybe has 1, and Kerry Hicks is holding on to him. Now, 3rd down. They can pick up the first down at the 1. Mike, do you continue to hammer away at this tough run defense, or do you put it up this time?
This is where I would expect Eric Moore on some type of rollout, maybe an option play or some type of rollout on the corner off of play action, where he has the run-pass capabilities. And they like their tight end, so the tight end is a big play type receiver, Steven Alexander, in this situation.
I think that's who I'd look for, number 80. Headed for the corner, And even as fast as Moore is, look how many white shirts were out there to run him out of bounds.
Well, that's the rollout. That's the run-pass theory that you've got. Matt Russell, number 16, was able to knock him outside. No fake at all on this play, so you've got the run-pass possibility. And you see P.J. Mills is wide open in the back of the end zone. They just didn't see P.J. Mills. They missed that one, Ron. He's wide open. That's a touchdown for Oklahoma that they did not get because Eric Moore did not see the field.
Jeremy Alexander, they're going to try to get the sure thing and pick up the 3 points as the ball will go down at the 11. Chip shot, knocked it home. Sooners are on the board first. So let's take a break. 6 minutes, 53 seconds left to play. Opening quarter. Sooners 3, Buffaloes nothing.
Well, this is it.
Ooh, what a dump.
Don't worry. We know a good handyman. What a dump. Can you help?
Sure. Some primer, a couple of wing nuts. How's that?
That'll work. Hey, can you miter cut those floorboards? Will do. Good news.
The external beer tap is functional.
Yeah!
When you've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good.
I could have done this.
Yeah.
In these mountains, you need a tough truck.
Dave Ashley, search and rescue volunteer.
Trails, I tend to make my own. It's one torture test after another. But the people I'm looking for depend on someone to find them. Well, I depend on something too. My Ford F-Series. How do you learn a job like this? Let's just say I drive something tougher than a golf cart on the weekends.
Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford tough.
All right, gentlemen. Tomorrow, your butts are mine. Lights out.
Man, I'm hungry. Russell Athletic Wear is made to handle the toughest situations on and off the field.
Hot dog.
French fries.
Hamburger.
Tacos.
Tacos grande. Pizza. Coach, going somewhere, ladies. Hard work.
Dedication. Commitment.
Get Russell Athletic. Get tough.
Get up there, Lord, bud. Go, go.
ESPN's presentation of CFA Primetime is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Chosen for leadership ability, vocal commands, and marching routine, the role of drum major is quite an honor. Whereas many large schools have 2 and 3 drum majors, OU's 290-member band votes just 1. Jeremy Alexander set to kick it off for Oklahoma. Troutman and Lyndon Henry again, the twin safety, back for Colorado. Well, Mike, and he's got a little wind behind him, but out of the end zone.
Here's what Eric Moore didn't see. P.J. Mills is going to go down and work in the corner and wide open on this 3rd down situation. Eric Moore's going to roll to the left. Now P.J. Mills just clears, and you see him in the back of the end zone, just wide open back there for 6.
Eric was kind of running for his life at the time, though, but he'll look back ahead and say, oh, my.
Got to have those.
John HESSLER back on the field for his 2nd offensive possession. Hands it out in the flat. That's Kidd, and he'll pick up 7. And Mike Tirico, let's go back to you.
Ron, in Tucson, Arizona's playing a sloppy game. 11 penalties, 3 blocked extra points by Cal, keeping the Bears in it. And Pat Barnes, 31 yards to Bobby Shaw. This is a game in the 4th. The lead is just 5 for Arizona.
Well, 3 blocked extra points. I don't think I've ever heard of that in one ball game. Have you, Mike?
Special teams coach there is in trouble. Or a special teams player, I might add.
Troutman bounces off 1, bounces off 2, gets by. Nope, he won't get by to Quasey. Holding on to his jersey, but he's going to have the 1st down with the 2nd effort.
That's what they say about Herschel Troutman, though. He just makes you miss, and he has good balance, and he's just a bouncing running back out of Naples, Florida. He should have really been stopped here without much of a gain. Gets hit right here, spins, keeps moving, keeps his eye straight ahead. Brent DeQuazy finally brings him down.
Simpson Held on to him there, number 51, along with DeQuacy to make the stop. Troutman again, and he'll take it for a couple of yards, and you can see 57, Cedric Jones holding on to him. Well, for any of you keeping track of the baseball playoff picture, ESPN is the place to be for the finish. If the Angels win tonight, 1:30 tomorrow on ESPN2, you'll see the Yankees at the Blue Jays. If the Angels lose tonight at 2 o'clock on ESPN2, you'll see Houston at Chicago. Then at 4 o'clock on ESPN, we've got the National League race. San Francisco at Colorado joined in progress, and continuing coverage of Houston and Chicago. And I believe he caught it.
That's a good catch.
Lipsis, the tight end, with his hands trying to hold it just above the carpet here. And the crowd is booing, and he got it.
John, that was a good catch by Matt Lipsis, number 88. Good protection. Cedric Jones comes in, beats the block over there on that side, but Lipsis with a good catch. Ron, when we watched Oklahoma play last year, we both talked about how fast they are on defense. They're only giving up 50 yards rushing to the opponents they played this year.
They rolled the pocket this time. Did he catch it in bounds? Yes. That's Chris Anderson right in front of Howard Schnellenberger, and he grabbed it in. Got a foot down, and it will move the chains. First down for Colorado. Coy Detmer, who injured his knee just last week in a Texas A&M game, watching on the sideline.
Say he may be back in 2 weeks.
Saw him in the locker room visiting with John HESSLER just prior to the ball game. Troutman breaks it. 10 yards and out close to 15 as Tyrell Peters finally trips him up. But let's go down and check with Mike Adams.
Well, Ron and Mike, assuming that Coy Detmer opts to have surgery after the season is over, he's looking at October 21st in the Iowa State game as a return date. But last Saturday, there was no such optimism. This was the play, and watch Coy's right knee. It buckles underneath him as he tries to spin away from the Texas A&M pass rush. He continued to play. And then he did get the pass off, but crumpled to the AstroTurf in pain. The good news, he's in uniform tonight and was actually practicing with the team earlier and testing out that brace.
Pass over the middle, incomplete. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, the good news is that, again, he's in uniform, and he was working out with a right knee brace, and they're very hopeful. They're assuming, I talked to the trainers beforehand, they think that he can come back. The official decision will not be made until a week from now, however.
Okay, and for the guy who has replaced him, John HESSLER, that's the first incomplete pass that he's thrown tonight. He's 4 of 5 for 37 yards. You just joined us, Oklahoma 3, Colorado nothing. HESSLER sets, got his man open right over the middle at the 30-yard line. Matt Lipsis and Mike Tirico, let's go back to you.
Ron Grambling looking for win 399 for Eddie Robinson, looking very good in the Cotton Bowl. Kendrick Nord, their excellent quarterback, to Solomon Thompson. That made it 28-0. It's now 35-0. Looks like Prairie View will lose a record 51st in a row. Robinson goes for that milestone 400th win tomorrow, next Saturday, I should say, on ESPN2.
Troutman on the right side, turns the corner. Tanner and Malin Wesley combining on the stop.
What Oklahoma's trying to do, because of the great running game that Colorado has, is they're trying to move their defensive ends in a little bit inside the tight end, but they're getting sealed a little bit. But that's what Oklahoma wants the ball to bounce to the linebacker. See him get sealed, but the linebackers are not there to make the play.
Second down, the line to make for Colorado, just inside the OU 13. Troutman caught for the ankle, and he will not get away from Rod Manuel.
Early in this game, Ron, I'll tell you something that's very obvious is that Oklahoma's defensive backs are really concerned about the speed of Colorado's receivers. They're way off of them, and that's why they've been open with the short passing game, the outs and so forth. They really fear their speed on the outside, and that's what John HESSLER has to take advantage of. The quick outs to Caruth and Savoy and Davis and Kidd, because they're there. They've got the cushion.
Larry Bush, one of the really good cover guys for OU, had an interception in last week's game against the University of North Texas. It is 3rd down. Too tall. Caruth is the man that he wanted. Darius Johnson had the cover. And the field goal team will come on, which means Neil Voskerichian, the senior out of Arcadia, California. Voskerichian, 6 of 7. His longest is 46 yards. This ball is going to be placed down at the 27. 37-yard attempt. They almost got it. He has plenty of distance, and he is no good. Off to the left. So let's take a break. 1:56 left opening quarter. 3-0 Sooners.
There are a lot of reasons why we created Ford Windstar with over 40 standard safety features, including standard dual airbags and standard anti-lock brakes. Many reasons for giving Windstar secure handling and making it longer for a smoother ride. We could acquaint you with some of these reasons, but why wake them up? Ford Windstar, created for the most important people in the world.
Well, look who's here. Herschel Walker and Tony Dorsett, 2 of the best college football running backs I ever saw. I'll bet you they're swapping some pretty good football stories.
Next time, I'm telling you, Tony, right profile. Really, Herschel? I've always favored my left, man.
Collect a Burger King Legends of College Football Cup. Free when you upsize your Whopper value meal for just 39 cents.
Touchdown!
You think next time we should wear the helmets?
In my case, the helmet is definitely off.
There's a place in the Big Apple where New Yorkers rush to be on the cutting edge. It's Jean-Louis David, a touch of Paris right in the middle of Manhattan. So if you're looking for a new you, drop in anytime at any of their locations. You don't need an appointment, just your Visa card. Because when it comes to your hair and Jean-Louis David, American Express just won't cut it. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Get ready for an SEC West border war. Mississippi State versus Auburn. Thursday at 8, only on ESPN.
Now, this was just a couple of moments ago as HESSLER talking to his head coach on the sideline. Some instruction as far as that last series is concerned.
And what it appeared to me is that John HESSLER was saying, hey, I was high with the ball. I mean, I had him there, and we're going to be okay. And that's what Rick Neuheiser's telling me. Hey, they've got some cushions on the outside to take advantage of.
Terrence Brown in the game at wide receiver. He's at the top of your screen as the Sooners go from the shotgun. Going to go on top, and that's who he's looking for. Got him open and overthrew Terrence Brown. Wow, had he broken open.
Well, Terrence Brown was last year's quarterback. He said, I don't want any part of that quarterback this year. Put me at wide receiver. And Eric Moore went to Gary Nord and said, now, I've heard this rumor about me going to wide receiver. I don't want any part of that. I want to be the quarterback.
Moore 3 of 4, 34 yards. His first incomplete pass, so both quarterbacks started off with a very warm hand tonight. Call in the audible. You see the linebackers in the middle coming on a blitz. Pass incomplete, and Penny really took a shot from Rosca. after the ball went by him.
Sometimes you can bait a young quarterback into something, and I think that's what Colorado was able to do, bait him into another long throw. Steve Roska, the safety, just sitting back here on the hash. They baited him with the stunt, but no one's coming. See, sometimes those linebackers will get up there like they're going to blitz and bail out of there. I think they talked Eric Moore into a bad play.
Well, it's a 3rd down now, and they need to pick up 10 yards. You need to go to the 30. Blitz up the middle, and they try to throw the middle screen, and it is too low. P.J. Mills is the man they were looking for.
And they came clean, and that's something now that if you're Colorado's defensive coaches, you know you're able to come through on that blitz that clean. You want to still continue to heat him up. You see how they come through clean? Even though it's a screen, Matt Russell came through 2 untouched. I'd expect more blitzing out of Colorado as this game goes on.
Brian Lewis to kick it away. Kicking to Roska. Kicking with the wind, and he's got a dandy. Roska all the way back to the 27. 1, 2, 3 flags coming from downfield. That's a 53-yard boot. 9 on the return. Wendell Davis was there to make the tackle on special teams. Block in the back, called against the Buffaloes. So let's take a break. 3-0. Oklahoma leading over Colorado. We'll be right back.
Colorado Springs Jeep Eagle, it's a giant Jeep roundup. We rounded up our last 95, lassoed all new 96s arriving daily, and branded every one of them with a great deal in duck price. That means Cherokees as low as $17,399. 95 and 96 Grand Cherokees start at only $25,499. Even great clearance prices on Talons, Wranglers, Summits, and Visions. Come on in and put your brand on one. Don't miss our giant Jeep roundup, because it happens only once a year, and we're moving them out. Colorado Springs Jeep Eagle, 1250 South Nevada.
Miss Knight, you have been found guilty of committing a senseless crime.
Your Honor, I appeal. New evidence has been concocted that proves my client's innocence. Miss Knight, what happened on the day in question?
Well, I picked up my car at Black and White Auto. You see, they MIG-welded my quarter panel, measured my unibody, and matched my paint with the latest lacquers, enamels, and urethane.
Judge, it's as clear as my briefs. Anyone smart enough to go to Black and White would never commit a senseless crime.
The evidence is black and white. Case dismissed.
Let's get you caught up on the baseball situation. Seattle is trailing Texas. Seattle needs to rally if they want to clinch the AL West. Still keeps California alive for a tie. The Yankees did win their game over Toronto 6-1. Now, tomorrow on ESPN, if California wins tonight, we'll have coverage of the Yankees and Toronto on ESPN2. We'll definitely have coverage of Houston and Chicago. If both games are on, we'll switch back and forth. And then on ESPN, after the auto race, we'll have coverage of all the games that mean something in the playoff mix. Ron.
Oklahoma 3-0 with only 1:32 left in this opening quarter. And there's only been one quarter this year that the Buffaloes have not scored points in.
Let's see if they take advantage of the outside, Ron, because they definitely have an advantage with their wide receivers.
HESSLER fakes it to Troutman this time and then rolls the pocket and gets it complete. That's Ray Caruth. DJ Darius Johnson was there to make the hit on him after a gain of 5.
Here's what you're looking at on the outside. Ray Caruth with the coverage and the cushion on the outside. That's Larry Bush, number 31, just backing out. And then late coming up is Darius Johnson on the hit. That's out there for Colorado on mostly first and second down.
Looks as though that the Sooners, Darius Johnson, may be shaken up a little bit. They're getting him off the field, and they got a replacement in. And the whistle is blown, and stoppage in play, but no timeout was charged. The way they're massaging that arm, it looks as though he might have gotten a stinger. That arm is kind of gone dead on him. Wendell Davis, number 28, comes in replacing him. The option of the pitch back to Trotman. Oh, my goodness. Martin Chase, number 93. The sophomore out of Lawton, Oklahoma, was right there to make the hit.
I tell you, Ty Peters was there also, Ron, and he was suspended. That's number 45. He was suspended last week. As you see, the rush defense, only 50.7. They're giving up a game average. And when you're suspended, when you don't play in a game on Saturday for Howard Schnellenberger, you play on the toilet bowl on Monday. With all the guys who don't play in the game, they nickname it that bowl, and they made their starter play in that game last week. He played, and of course, all the coaches were just crossing their fingers and hoping he got out of that healthy.
Well, in that opening quarter, OU held Colorado to 10 rushes and 20 yards, 3-0. We'll be right back to Norman with more.
State Farm presents the rules of the game.
We're talking about late hits. In this play, a runner is downed, followed by a clip. What is the penalty?
As soon as a State Farm customer calls with a claim, I'm right on the phone to our claims center.
We work as partners. Nancy gives me the information, then I contact our customer.
We've settled hundreds of claims together. John's attitude is...
You got to be quick, and you've got to be fair.
Quick and fair.
At State Farm, teamwork is what it's all about.
We make a great team.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We're talking about late hits. In this play, the offensive team clipped after the runner was down. Assess a 15-yard penalty against the offense from the spot where the run ended.
Rules of the Game has been brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We changed the way you saw the world. Now we've made a world of changes. Introducing the new Ford Explorer, the top-selling compact sport utility with standard dual airbags. The one with control track four-wheel drive for instant traction control automatically. Plus an engine that lets you go 100,000 miles before your first tune-up. The new Ford Explorer. Far and away, the best the world has to offer.
I've always wanted to do this. With NFL Sunday Ticket on DirecTV, you get up to 13 regular season games live every Sunday. So if Washington is blowing out the Bucs, just switch to the 49ers Saints game. But hey, is Emmitt Smith breaking the rushing record? Are the Giants crushing the Eagles? You get it. Not on cable, but with DirecTV and this. Now that's a game plan. To get NFL Sunday Ticket on the 18-inch DSS dish of your choice, call 1-800-DIRECTV.
Hey, Red Dog.
What?
Do you ever wonder why we're here?
Where?
You know, here. Why we exist?
No.
How come?
I got better things to think about.
But why are we the way we are? I mean, I'd give anything to be as big as you.
True. You ain't big, but you're real quick.
Quick? Yeah. I guess it all evens out then, huh?
Well, that might be pushing it. Red Dog.
Hey, Red Dog.
Yeah?
Full moon tomorrow night.
I'm there, buddy.
Some of the capacity crowd here in Norman, Oklahoma tonight, over 75,000 strong, out to see this one. First time I've had a sellout here since 1989. And these are the numbers on the first quarter. 34 yards, passing, 27 rushing for OU. And as we said, Colorado held at 20 yards rushing first quarter.
An even first quarter, really. If except for the missed field goal, it'd be 3-3.
Pressure on HESSLER, and he lobs it and overthrows Lipsis. Good heavens. Boy, he had him, and he was being teamed. He was not being selfish. He could have run that ball.
Well, that's the strength of John HESSLER. He has good mobility, and he can get out of the pocket. And he made that play against A&M last week because that was the touchdown pass on a scramble. But he just overthrew Matt Lipsis just a little bit too high.
Well, you could see his head coach trying to calm him down, and he's upset with himself. Pressure, and they got it. Blocked right up the middle. Recovered at the 21-yard line.
the block. This comes 3 inside. Great field position for this OU offense.
So let's see if the Sooners can capitalize. They lead 3-0. Pitch goes to Moore, turns the corner, has 5, now 6 yards. Murkison is out there to make the hit on him. As you look at Mitchell on the sideline, talking with his special teams members, saying where did he come from, or how did he get there, probably.
You see Matt Russell up inside. He's just blitzing on every play inside. Gerald Moore with a good play on the outside. A good call again by Gary Nord to get away from the inside blitz, get outside.
See Moore asking for quiet. Straight ahead with Gerald Moore and close to the first down. In fact, I think he has it. And Mike Tirico, let's check back with you.
Ron, I got an NCAA record on this McDonald's breakaway to Southern California. Keyshawn Johnson with this late third quarter catch goes over 100 yards for the 12th straight game. That breaks Aaron Turner's record. And for a cherry on the Sunday, he scored the touchdown. Southern Cal leads by 24.
Long strider with that kind of speed.
I've seen a lot of great receivers this year. He's among them.
Well, the spot that they gave him, he didn't make it. It's going to be third down, less than a yard. They take it to the left side, and they'll have the first down with Gerald Moore. Just inside the 10-yard line with T.J. Cunningham holding on for dear life.
That was a good tackle by T.J. Cunningham, number 8. Excellent tackle. He was a receiver last year. He made a touchdown-saving tackle there. It was a sure tackle. Going to see number 8, T.J. Cunningham, with a good tackle, because if he gets by him, Gerald Moore is in the end zone.
First and goal, Oklahoma. This time from the eye. As the pitch goes back to Allen, he'll take it inside the 5, and he's down to the 3. Hicks made the tackle, but Stamps, Overton, Langston, really good job of blocking up front. And a flag is down at the 5. And it's going to be holding Oklahoma.
You never like to see a holding call. And you know where that flag's at, what it is. As a coach, you know you're giving up great field position and a chance to knock it in from inside the 5.
So instead of a second down and goal at the 3-yard line, it is going to be first down Oklahoma, and the ball now resting just outside the 15-yard line. Oklahoma leading by a field goal, but they don't want 3 on this trip. They want 7. It's Moore in motion coming to the bottom of your screen, and it's a quarterback draw at the 10, at the 5. And Moore is down to the 4-yard line. Roska finally made the stop on him. Put him in motion and spread everybody out.
What they did again, Ron, was the motion outside is removing a linebacker. And you've got one linebacker inside, and he's blitzing inside, and the quarterback draws wide open. And that play is a direct call off of the last time they ran motion, because they saw the adjustment of Colorado.
And if the young quarterback had waited on Langston, he might have taken it into the end zone. To the right side, at the 2, at the 1. No touchdown. They're going to say a foot away, James Allen. It's third down.
Both the Oklahoma running backs, James Allen and Gerald Moore, are getting off to a good start tonight. Gerald Moore again leading on the block. Gets the backside pull also by Milton Overton. Ooh. Looked like a score.
Third down, about a foot away or less. Gets him set right up the middle. Touchdown, Eric Moore. Jeremy Alexander tries to put Oklahoma up 10-0 over Colorado. We got it. So let's take a break. They are standing and they are cheering because this man's team has just bolted on top 10-0 over number 4 Colorado. We'll be right back.
What takes business presentations to a whole new level? The Intel Pentium processor. It gives your notebook the power to make PC software come alive. With video and graphics that help your presentations speak for themselves. The Intel Pentium processor.
Something fresh comes into your life at the exact moment you're ready for it. It's not coincidence. Aurora by Oldsmobile. See what happens when you demand better? Aurora.
A strange event occurs once. It's coincidence, perhaps. But if it occurs twice, what then? 2 different households, 2 different guys. The same dream.
2 quarter pounders with cheese for $2 at McDonald's? I gotta call Jerry.
It's McDonald's $2 conversion. 2 big, beefy, juicy quarter pounders with cheese for only $2 right now at McDonald's.
Busy again. It's 3 in the morning. Who's Jerry talking to? Jerry! Jerry!
ESPN's presentation of CFA Primetime is brought to you by Oldsmobile and your local Oldsmobile retailers. 100 years of football, 6 national championships, 2 of them 74 and 75 back-to-back, and it featured names like Switzer, the Selman brothers, and Speedy Joe Washington. Well, I don't need to tell you, 2,000 fans came in here last night just to watch the Sooners walk through. The student section was filled as soon as they opened it 2 hours before game time today. And folks, this 10-0 lead, these guys will stay here till 6 in the morning if they have to, but they're loving what they're seeing. Big opening on the return, and Henry is going to take it back out over the 40, and they're going to say shoved out of bounds at the 47-yard line.
Key play in this last series for Oklahoma was the block punt. Terrence Malone, number 49, just a missed blocking assignment because no one picks him up. He just runs straight through to block that punt and to set up that great field position in that score and make Howard Snellenberger look like Babe Ruth calling his shot. But I'll tell you, it's early in this ball game, and Colorado has had some things offensively. When they quit misfiring, they're going to take this ball right down the field.
You know, and the point that you made early on in the first quarter also is Colorado has been such a team of such big plays, and they have not been able to get that going just yet.
Well, they're there on the outside.
Option pass. Looking for Savoy, overthrown at the 35-yard line. It was Larry Bush having the cover.
What Rick Neuheisel would like to see is John HESSLER just get a little bit more in control. He's just a little bit high on his throws right now, but they're open. They're out there and they're open, and Rick Neuheisel knows it. He knows he's got a good plan against this Oklahoma defense.
You know, Mike, you and I talked about the weather coming over here. We've had wind warnings yesterday and also today, and coming this direction, he's been long on 2 different passes.
He's got the wind in his back.
Yep, he sure does. Short drop this time, and the pass complete to Savoy. It'll be a gain of about 3 yards, and it's going to be a 3rd down as Wesley came up to make the hit. And this is what we're talking about. You know how the wind blows here in Oklahoma, and those are huge flags, and they're outstretched completely. So I guess just like the song, the wind comes sweeping down the plain, and it's sweeping off the plain tonight.
What song's that?
You better not say that to local folks.
All right, you got it. Oh, you know the title.
Well, it's Oklahoma.
Oh, I got you got it. All right.
Oh, my goodness. on third down. Sets it up deep over the middle, has a man, tipped in, incomplete. And again, he was just a little too tall, and I think Wendell Davis got a piece of it.
Well, the other thing is Cedric Jones pressured him from the backside. The all-time leader in sacks here at Oklahoma puts a lot of pressure on. You're going to see the route. Ray Caruth down the middle. Open. Just can't get him the football. It's a catchable ball there, but may have been tipped.
I think Wendell Davis did get a piece of it. Now let's see if the blocking setup is different for Andy Mitchell this time. At the 10, and takes an Oklahoma bounce and goes into the end zone. So, Colorado has a 41-yard kick return that they don't take advantage of. We'll be right back.
In years to come, you'll be able to say that when Aurora was ready to go, so were you. See what happens when you demand better? Aurora by Oldsmobile.
Don't let a new car payment be a financial burden. Call 1-800-32-SMART. About Smart Lease by GMAC. It just might give you something you wouldn't mind carrying around. Don't let a new car payment get you all wound up. Call 1-800-32-SMART about Smart Lease by GMAC. It can put a new spin on affordability.
Got it, I got it. Tap the Rockies, Coors Light. Tap the Rockies, Coors Light. Hey! Coors Light, the silver bullet. It's shipped cold to tap the clean taste of the Rockies. Tap the Rockies, Coors Light.
In a rivalry like this, rankings don't matter. Miami versus top-ranked Florida State. Next Saturday at 7:30, only on ESPN.
Well, now for our Sega Sports Students of the Game. From Colorado, defensive tackle Kerry Hicks. He has already graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in psychology with a 3.0 GPA. And from Oklahoma, senior guard Milton Overton. He is a 4-point graduate student majoring in sociology. Sega Sports congratulates these fine student athletes. Sega! Ron Franklin along with Mike Gottfried and Mike Adamle from Norman, Oklahoma. Beautiful night. They had predicted rain. Looks like we're going to miss it. Temperature very mild and wind coming in the face of Oklahoma right now. Step shot, hit, ball is on the ground, and I believe Colorado recovered at the 17-yard line. They did. Kerry Hicks is on the football.
Darrell Price also hitting Eric Moore out of the shotgun, causing that turnover. Eric Moore set back to pass. There's Darrell Price, number 99. He strips the football with his left hand. Kerry Hicks recovers it. Colorado in business. That's how fast momentum can change.
So Colorado's offense meeting on the sideline with Rick Neuheisel. As you look at Eric Moore on the far sideline. And a reminder that every 10, 30, and 50 minutes after the hour, ESPN will update you on all the scores. Things going on in the world of sports. Marlon Barnes, number 9, the lone setback this time. And Barnes gets the handoff, and he is wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. But I'll tell you, Cedric Jones is teaming with Baron Tanner. Mike, Cedric Jones, between pressuring and a sack and 3 individual tackles, he's just been everywhere.
They're playing him inside eye of the tight end, and he's moving down inside. See how inside he is on this play. Steps over, gets in on the tackle, and both defensive tackles, too, Atkins and Tanner, very active in the inside.
It's a loss of 1, so it's going to be 2nd down and 11. Marlon Barnes, again, the only setback for the Buffaloes. Pressure from the backside. He gets hit. The ball is loose, and they are calling an incomplete pass as a flag goes down. And it was Cedric Jones who almost took his head off. Holding is called against Colorado.
Talking to some pro scouts about Cedric Jones, they say he can be special. They compare him a lot to Mike Mamula, only they think he's a better athlete, better size at 6'4", 263. He can come off that corner and pass rush.
Mike, as good as that Colorado offensive line is, they better get some help or HESSLER. Those are some tough shots right there.
The strength of the offensive line of Colorado is the center and 2 guards. Both tackles are really first-year starters, Kyle Smith and Melvin Thomas, so they're inexperienced. And Cedric Jones is taking advantage of that.
So a timeout is being called, I believe, by Colorado is calling a timeout as HESSLER had come over to the near sideline. Will take it with it. 10-0 Oklahoma.
Think you could make it another year without snow tires?
At Custom Tire Center, we're of the opinion that you should take the initiative to at least see what's available in snow tires. The time to consider new tires isn't when you're sliding through an intersection or stuck in a snowbank or when the roads in ski country are covered and slippery. No one thinks it can happen to them, but we've seen the statistics and have heard enough stories over the years to know it could happen to you. So right now, help maximize your safety on the road and let us show you how practical and inexpensive a set of snow tires can be.
Here's what's happened today and tonight in the National League. Colorado has clinched at least a tie of the wild card. Chicago is eliminated. Houston still alive for the wild card. The Dodgers and San Diego play in about 10 minutes. Now tomorrow on ESPN2, you'll see Houston at Chicago for sure, and the Yankees in Toronto if it means anything. And then on ESPN, after the NASCAR race, any game that has significance in determining one of the 8 playoff spots in Major League Baseball, you will see coverage of. Let's go back to Ron.
10-0. Oklahoma leads with 9 minutes and 23 seconds left to play until halftime. Mike, the fumble just a moment ago, gave CU the ball at the 17-yard line. They have not been able to take advantage of good opportunities tonight. On the last series, a 41-yard kickoff return. They didn't get anything out of it. Here, they got to get points of some kind.
Yeah, they do. Credit Oklahoma's defense. They run so well on defense, they can make big plays.
HESSLER has it complete at the 19-yard line and then shoved out of bounds.
But that's what's there, Ron, if they'll just be patient on the outside. James Kidd with the 10-yard completion here. Looks like Oklahoma's so concerned about the Colorado speed on the outside.
So now it comes down to a 3rd down, and they still need 11 yards to pick up the first down. They got to take it down inside the OU 8.
That's a confusion in that huddle.
You can see Thomas, Nioli, Stoltenberg, and now Colorado's going to call a timeout.
Well, that's a problem sometimes when you send verbal signals in. Sometimes they get it mixed up, and you got to spend the timeout.
So we're going to take it with them. 9:16 left until halftime. We'll be right back.
When traffic congestion changes, the threats to your car's engine change. That's why Quaker State has engineered intelligent oil. Oil that senses the changing threats in your engine and adapts its own molecular structure for continuous protection. So whenever the driving conditions change, so does Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life.
Now get up to $6.60 back by mail when you buy a case of Quaker State, or up to $2.75 back by mail when you buy 5 quarts.
Kelly Springfield. We've been making tires for more than 100 years. And at our age, some might suggest we're over the hill. They're absolutely right. Kelly Springfield, America's oldest tire company.
Hey, it's me again. The little guy. Back with TGI Friday's 3 new Cajun dishes. Just take a look at this. Friday's new Cajun Angels. Juicy shrimp wrapped in bacon, rolled in Cajun spices, and served with a Creole mustard sauce. And called Cajun Angels because the people at Friday's know how much I hate the word shrimp.
Try one of Friday's new Cajun dishes and get a free Oreo Madness for dessert.
So 10-0. Colorado still with the 3rd down and about 11 and a half, almost 12 yards to pick up the 1st down. And they had to call a timeout because the play that came in, there was confusion. See if he got it worked out. 1 of 5 on 3rd down conversions tonight. It's Barnes in motion. Pass over the middle. It is caught. Savoy, touchdown, Colorado.
That's what John HESSLER needs in this ballgame, Ron, a completion like that to get back started again.
Well, now Colorado is going to be called for a 15-yard penalty for too much celebration. Clint Moore, number 66 at left tackle, did a really good job on Cedric Jones that time to make sure his young quarterback had time to get the pass away. Clint standing on the sidelines. Well, this game is just absolutely going down a real steep hill there for a bit, and all of a sudden, Mike, the last minute on the clock is taking 20 minutes to play.
I like what Colorado's doing offensively. I really feel like they've got a pretty good game plan in this game. Just have not executed early. Have some things open in the passing game.
John Laurie has called his officials together. Mike, what could they possibly be talking about? There are 4 flags down in the end zone. Well, what John was saying, if you could read his lips, unsportsmanlike called against Colorado, and it will be stepped off on the kickoff.
And that's where the benefit of the wind at your back on the kickoff should help Colorado a little bit.
For sure. Howard just summed up the situation for us. He said, anybody know what the hell's going on? And he's exactly right. We're asking the same question.
Well, I think they give them their choice, don't they?
Yes, they do give them their choice.
And that might be the holdup. Colorado was able to force the turnover and turn it into points.
They've elected to take this unsportsmanlike here.
Well, I did see a personal foul call, too. Maybe that will be assessed on the kickoff. We'll have to see. I was commenting to you today about the games that I've watched. I do not see the celebration thing called as much as I saw early in the season.
I'll tell you, we're going to show you a couple of things after the extra point attempt here, Mike, that may kind of sum up why the flag was thrown. Voskerichian to attempt an extra point of 35 yards. Plenty of distance, and he's got it. So it's 10-7. Now, let's go back and show you the touchdown.
Good protection here. Phil Savoy with a catch. And let's check John HESSLER after the touchdown.
That's the only thing we can figure is that HESSLER with the celebration. And that's when the flags were thrown.
I hate to think that flag was called on that. Now we'll see if the personal foul goes.
ESPN is your home for college football again next Saturday. At 11:30, it all starts with College Game Day. At 12:30, Michigan takes on Northwestern. At 3:30 and 7, catch up on all the scores and highlights. And at 7:30, see if Miami can slow down the Florida State Seminoles. At 10:30, we put a period on the day. All of that next Saturday. So to repeat the sequence that occurred, 15-yard penalty. They stepped it off. The extra point attempt had to come from the 25, which made it a 35-yard attempt, and Boscovichian knocked it home, so we have a 10-7 ball game.
And there was not a personal foul call.
Eric Moore waiting on the sideline as P.J. Mills is the deep man. And Jason Leslie out of Palacios, Texas, will kick it off. 2 yards deep, he'll return it. Tries to turn the corner and shoved out just around the 20. Mike Tirico, let's go back to you.
Ron, one of the oddest plays of the day. Jeremy Borseth, the punter for Louisville, is back. His punt is partially blocked. Goes up in the air and comes backwards. So Kerry Cobb heads up, picks up the bouncing ball and takes it in. A Memphis touchdown. And Memphis leads by 4.
Oh, my. One of those kind of days. 9:02 to play until halftime. Sooners by 3. Allen to the right side. Still going beyond the 45 to the 46. Donnell Liamidi finally puts a stopper on him at the 45.
Oklahoma's using some pretty good splits by their offensive line, trying to spread that Colorado defense out. There's the splits by the center and the guard and the tackle. You see how wide they are? Now the give to James Allen. Breaking into the secondary, J.R. Conrad, number 78, with a block.
That's a gain of 23 yards. Look at the yards rushing. Now 76 for OU. Play action. And Moore will take it for 5 yards out of bounds at the 50-yard line. Liamidi came over to shove him out. And even if you don't pick up much on that play, it keeps you honest and plants the seed, doesn't it, Mike?
It makes your defensive end stay at home in your secondary. Eric Moore, when he played Little League football, his coach nicknamed him Snake. He didn't know why. Said a little while later, a couple years later, he saw some films of Kenny Stabler and known as the Snake, and he said he admired Kenny Stabler from that point on, so he wants to be known as Eric the Snake Moore in honor of Ken the Snake Stabler.
There's a great resemblance as far as from the same side they throw, being left-handed, but in speed, I don't think so.
No.
Trap play right up the middle. 5, 10, 12, 13 yards. Gerald Moore finally tackled by Rosca. I'll tell you, the play calling and the offensive line for OU, outstanding.
The line splits are again helping the University of Oklahoma because they're splitting them out wide. You see the big split between the guard and the center and the tackle. A good block by James Allen, and then Gerald Moore is not your typical fullback. Once he gets in the secondary, he's like a running back out of the tailback position. Good speed.
They're going to say officially 14 yards in the play and another Oklahoma first down. And now Eric Moore either didn't like what he saw or was confused about the play that was called, and he will call a timeout. Catch NFL Game Day on Sunday when Boomer and the boys explore the brashest of the Cowboys, Michael Irvin. What's wrong in Pittsburgh? And a reversal of fortunes in New Orleans. NFL Game Day Sunday, 11:45 a.m. sharp. Mike Adamle, let's go down to the sideline and check with you.
Well, Ron, while watching Oklahoma lose to BYU in last year's Copper Bowl, Howard Schnellenberger's first observation was how out of shape the Sooners were. So this year, an edict. Trim the fat by 1,000 pounds, and his offensive line answered the call. Left tackle, let's take a look at this graphic. Left tackle Harry Stamps lost 30 pounds. Milton Overton cut his body fat to 5%. Center Chuck Langston is trimmer and slimmer. Right guard and right tackle Joe Carollo and J.R. Conrad lost 55 pounds combined. They may not be a mean machine, but they are certainly a lean machine this year.
Wow, that's impressive. 30, 12, 16, 26, and 29 pounds. And as we mentioned, first time this group has been together in a full year because of injuries. Allen in motion. Little counterplay to Moore, and that's not going anywhere. As Ryan Olsen stepped right up into the hole and made the hit on him.
Well, Ryan Olsen stayed square in the line of scrimmage, number 55. Read that play, got off the block, kept his shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage, pad under pad, and made that play.
You just joined us, 10-7, Oklahoma. Sooners jumped out on top 10-0, and Colorado took advantage of an OU turnover. As Eric Moore was hit from behind and fumbled the ball, and that's how they got their 7.
P.J. Mills is the go-to receiver for Oklahoma.
Second down, it's a draw play, though, and a great job defensively as Allen cannot go anywhere. Matt Russell from the middle linebacking spot is there to just devour him.
Danny Hope, the offensive line coach from Oklahoma, said he throws his body around, talking about Matt Russell, number 16, who makes the tackle here. He says every time you look at the tape and they uncover the ball carrier, you always find number 16 around there.
He actually got a little help from Chuck Langston. You can see Chuck was trying to shove him out of his lane sideways and shoved him kind of into the ball carrier. So it's third down, and the line to make is the 26.5 of Colorado. Pass caught over the middle by Alexander, and he guessed right with the inside move, and it's a first down, Oklahoma.
A.J. Kristoff, the defensive coordinator, Colorado, was concerned about the speed and the reception ability of the tight ends. Steven Alexander, number 80, is just going to curl. That's an option route. Now, once he catches it, he moves back to the inside, and look at the yardage he picks up after the catch for the first down.
Mikey, 6'4", almost 230. In high school, he was the state high jump champ at 6'8", and also played basketball. Very good athlete. He gained 20 yards in that last play. This running play right here, nothing. Number 33, Ron Murkison, is sitting right in the gap.
And it shows you in that last play the strength of the arm of Eric Moore. He's got a strong, very strong arm, drilling that ball into Steven Alexander. I've been impressed with Eric Moore. Now, they like to play Garrett McGee a little bit in the second quarter, but time's running out in this quarter. 6:06 in the second quarter here, but Garrett McGee will see some action, the backup quarterback for Oklahoma. He was the starter last year.
Second down and 10, the ball at the Colorado 20. Russell shows blitz, but he stays at home. Pass over the middle, too tall. Juwan Penny was open at the 10-yard line, but he just kind of got that one, got the nose up, and it went skyward. Juwan, a senior out of Tulsa, Washington. Not quite tall enough to get that one at 5'11". Boy, when you're running that kind of route, too, those receivers hate to get stretched out like that, because that's when you get your ribs taken away from you. Third and 10. 4 out of 5 on third down conversions tonight for the Sooners. Right over the middle, has a man, touchdown, Juwan Penny. He was tall enough that time. talk about the celebration rule. These guys are calling it tonight.
It's the only crew I've seen lately.
Well, Howard talking to Garland Old, the field judge.
Jawan Penny is running a post route. Eric Moore with a good throw, a high throw, but a good catch. And that, I guess he went to the crowd, and that's why this call is. Jawan Penny, after he makes the touchdown, he goes to the crowd, and that's the penalty.
Jeremy Alexander tries to make it 17 points for the Sooners. And he does.
And Ron, where this will hurt Oklahoma is the fact that they now have to kick off into the wind. So Colorado should end up with pretty good position.
Sooner Schooner will ride again. I'll tell you what, let's take that play all the way to the end, Mike, and finish your discussion on what happened at the end of the play.
Jawan Penny just heads to the crowd. He's, I guess, showing the football.
Sooner Schooner makes a successful run. And it's 17-7. 9 plays, 78 yards, 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Penny with the 20-yard reception.
The key will be where Colorado ends up with this football. With the penalty on Oklahoma, driving them back to kick it off into the wind, Colorado should end up in pretty good position.
Now here's the thing. Jeremy Alexander's been kicking it 10 yards deep into the end zone, but he's kicking it into the wind. And I'm with you. It's let's see how much this penalty winds up hurting them, because they're going to be kicking off from their own 20-yard line. I think that we have seen our last two celebrations, because at halftime, under no I think they're going to be let known we're not doing this anymore, guys. So Alexander tees the ball up at the 20. Oklahoma was a slight underdog coming into this ball game tonight. They jumped out in front 10-0, and they have just stretched that lead back to a 10-point margin. Colorado ranked number 4 in the nation, and the Buffaloes might be a little bit shocked right now. Troutman and Lyndon Henry back in a deep safety. This is a good kickoff into the wind. Going to come all the way to the 15, so that would have been to the goal line, and it's Troutman. And look at the hit on Troutman. He will not make it to the 30-yard line. Well, the final round coverage continues tomorrow for the PGA Buick Challenge. Fred Funk and Steve Stryker tied for the lead at 11 under par. And from Tanglewood Country Club, the Cadillac Senior PGA Tour Vantage Cup Championship, Hale Irwin and Dave Stockton tied at 10 under par. All tomorrow. Final round coverage here on ESPN. Again, Marlon Barnes is the setback, replacing Troutman. He gets the handoff, and he gets Chase. Martin Chase at the line of scrimmage is right there to wrap him up. Maybe a loss of 1.
And he played defense for Oklahoma last year as a true freshman. This year he's a sophomore. Martin Chase, 6'2", 278. He's the backup defensive tackle to Baron Tanner. So Oklahoma trying to keep fresh people in the line.
The other thing that's happened also, Mike, is Arthur Atkins with an injured knee. Chase is playing on a regular basis, because Atkins, it's going to be a couple of weeks before he gets back.
Rushing yards at Colorado. They got to find a way to run the football.
Well, let's see if Tanner wins his point here. He's pointing, saying, I was drawn offside. Sooner faithful not caring for that one. 5-yard penalty. Second and 5. Pass is caught by Savoy at the 45-yard line, and Mike Tirico. Let's check with you again.
Ron, after showing early signs of the 3 starters suspended, a slow start for USC, they come on strong. A touchdown run for Laval Woods, his second of the game. Their defense has allowed just 27 points this year. They're 4-0.
7 points a ball game will win you a lot of contest. Our situation, 4 minutes and 35 seconds left until the halftime. Oklahoma by 10. Barnes going to be hit and knocked down for a loss, and it's Brent DeQuacy, the senior out of Midwest City, just right up the road.
He's not a flashy linebacker. He had the toughest transition because last year he played on a tight end. Number 47, Brent DeQuacy, just taking on the block, keeping his outside arm free, making a tackle on Marlon Barnes.
Brent has played for a long time here. He came in and saw playing time early because he had the outstanding ability. And you've got to know that's a thrill when you live in the area. And, of course, as I said, Midwest City's just right up the road. But he's been an outstanding player today. Pass almost intercepted. That was Broderick Simpson, number 51, who cut in front. And I think Savoy was distracted just enough that he couldn't hold on.
Almost had a chance at that interception. Broderick Simpson's another linebacker of those 3 that can really run. His motor's always running. He's got a good hand on it to tip it away from Phil Savoy.
So it's third down, and the line to make for the Buffaloes is just inside the OU 45. Good protection this time, and he has the pass on the comeback, and that's Chris Anderson. And that'll be enough for the Colorado first down. Rod Henderson and Darius Johnson combined on the stop.
Good tackle by Rod Henderson. He's 200 pounds as a defensive back, very aggressive.
Mike, he played some linebacker last year.
Yeah, he's a good-sized player to have in the secondary. When he hits you, it brings a load.
So they say officially gain of 12 in that play. Swings it out to Barnes, out of the backfield. Inside the 45, now inside the 40. Peters finally puts a stop on him.
With all the underneath throws that Colorado's able to make right now, here's a little screen to Marlon Barnes. Gets a little bit of a push in the back there on Brent DeQuacy by Melvin Thomas, not called. But with the short passing game that Colorado has effectively established, the deep one may be there real soon for John HESSLER.
Colorado down by 10, trying to cut it back to 3. Barnes right up the middle, almost broke it. Mike Tirico, let's check back with you.
Ron, as Colorado works towards the end zone, we work towards the GMAC halftime report. We'll tell you about the nation's longest Division I winning streak derailed and the update on the Major League Baseball wild card playoff situation. All coming up on the GMAC halftime report at the break. Back to you, Ron.
Okay, Michael, we look forward to hearing that. 17-7 our score, and we're about to go under 2 minutes. They have just had a ball in this first half here in Norman, but they're right now pleading for this defense to step up big. Third down and short. Barnes bounces outside, breaks the tackle, and he's going to be inside the 25, and it's 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line.
We were talking about Rod Henderson a minute ago, how he brings a load. I'll tell you, he got hit by a load here. Marlon Barnes, number 9, just ran over Rod Henderson in the secondary to pick up this first down. The give to Marlon Barnes. And you're going to see number 17, Rod Henderson, right there. He just ran right through the tackle. Good, strong running by Marlon Barnes.
Boy, that was impressive. You take out a guy like Troutman, who was so effective. Again, Barnes, you don't miss anything. This time, OU is there, and they're ready. As Broderick Simpson, number 51, is the man, the first one to strike him.
What's set up here for Colorado is because they're running that outside zone play, which is a straight handoff to the left side, the nakeds are open for John HESSLER to roll out.
There's Simpson, and we talked about his quickness, and he just gets into the body, and that's the way you stop a short, stocky player like that, Mike. You got to take his legs away from him. 10 plays on this drive. Oklahoma with the blitz. Play action is caught by Savoy. Going to be short of the first down as Bush made a good open field tackle. And now it's going to be third down at about 1.
Credit that completion to the offensive line because they gave good protection. Phil Savoy, you see the big cushion on the outside again, afraid of the speed. That's Larry Bush, number 31. Colorado's receivers have such great speed. They're honoring it and respecting it with those cushions. The good blocking by the offensive line.
Again, it's third down and short. Barnes right up the middle. And I don't know. He's close. Simpson made the hit on him.
Never been a fan of the one back in short yardage. Always like a lead blocker.
You see the officials holding on to the football to make sure it doesn't get moved at all because it's that close. We're talking about inches either way. And I'd say that's about 4 or 5 inches. It's going to be fourth down, Colorado.
Yeah, I'd go for it here. I'd go for the first down.
You can see Rick Neuheisel wants a timeout, and this will be the last one for the Colorado Buffaloes.
It's going to be a tough decision for Rick Neuheisel right here, especially out of timeouts.
Oh, well, we've got a couple of seconds for any of you keeping track with the baseball playoff picture. ESPN, the place to be for the finish. Now, the Angels win tonight at 1:30. Tomorrow on ESPN2, you'll see the Yankees and the Blue Jays. The Angels lose tonight. At 2 o'clock on ESPN2, you'll see Houston at Chicago. And then at 4 o'clock on ESPN, we've got the National League race with San Francisco and Colorado joined in progress and continuing coverage of Houston and Chicago. Baseball and lots of it tomorrow. Howard Schnellenberger's ball club up by 10, 17-7.
This is big right here on this decision because if you pick up the first down, then you got to throw the ball into the ground, stop the clock, and give you a play or two to be able to throw into the end zone. This changes the whole theory of the thing. Without a timeout, now you got to really use good clock management.
And I'm sure that's what Rick Neuheisel just did. They not only discussed this play, but the what-ifs.
Well, they've got a couple plays going here. They've got the one to pick up the first down, and they're ready right away with a no-huddle with a second play. I think this will be a quarterback sneak here.
2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, and Marlon Barnes the only setback. Quarterback sneak, and he didn't get much, but I think he got it.
Now they need to get set again and be ready to go with the next play. We're so far away, we would need some carrier pigeon to tell us whether he made it or not.
This is now the highest press box I've ever done a game in, and I have to say the most unique experience is I've never seen the top of a punt before. And here's where we are. See those speakers where those lights are in the very middle of that? Yeah, we're
hiring that.
We're
hiring a Georgia pine.
So they got the first down. It is 1st and 10, Colorado. With 26, now 25 seconds. The clock is running. HESSLER sets to throw. In the end zone, got him for the touchdown. Ray Caruth. Colorado comes right back.
That's the best kind of clock management you can have. Score on the first play after the first down. It's a good job by Colorado, Rick Neuheisel, and offensive coordinator Carl Durrell. Taking the first down, they had the second play already called. They're up there, and there's still 17 seconds to go on the clock.
And Mike, that drive's going to be like 71 yards. That was very, very efficient. Boskarichian with the extra point. He's right down the middle. So 17 seconds left until halftime, and it is 17-14.
Ray Caruth, number 21, just with a corner route. John HESSLER with good presence in the pocket. Good protection by the offensive line, given the time. And Ray Caruth beating number 17, Rod Henderson, for the touchdown. It's been a good first half.
Boy, has it ever.
And Rick Neuheisel happy with that call.
And you know, Mike, I think the point that we need to make on both sides of the line is young John is being congratulated over here. And on the other side of the field, we're talking about guys that have not played major college football. And, you know, both teams undefeated in front of a national television audience, 75,000 folks, and they haven't acted like they even know that there's other stuff's going on.
Well, Rick Neuheisel had a good point. He said, I was always a backup quarterback for a long time at UCLA, and Homer Smith, who was the quarterback coach, explained to him, he said, you always have to be ready because you're one play away. So you have to prepare yourself mentally. Even though you're not getting as many snaps in practice, prepare yourself mentally. John HESSLER has done that. He's ready to go.
Jason Leslie to kick it off for CU. And with the wind at his back, drives it 5 yards deep into the end zone. Mike Tirico.
In talking about backup quarterbacks, Georgia lost Mike Bobo, their starter, having to turn to former tailback and wide receiver Hines Ward today. Tough to make that start against the Alabama defense, which scored 21 points, including this Cedric Samuel touchdown. Bama shut out the Dogs.
Mike, I'll tell you what, if you got as many raises in your life as positions Hines Ward's had to play at Georgia, you'd really be a rich guy. He's played like 6 different positions: wide receiver, quarterback, tailback. They have used him at everything down at Georgia. Numbers on HESSLER in the first half: 14 of 20, 140 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Oklahoma will run out the clock, and they head for the locker room. That's the end of the first half with our score: Oklahoma 17 and Colorado 14. Now let's join Mike Tirico for the GMAC halftime report. Mike.
Okay, Ron, Sooners winless in their last 6 against the Buffs, lead by 3 at halftime. Coming up on the GMAC halftime report, all the scores and highlights from the final college football Saturday in September, and we'll get you back out to Norman. Chris, Lee, and Craig will put some of the day's action in perspective, as well as their thoughts on the first half, which sees Oklahoma at home leading the Buffs by 3. Don't go away.
A car engine has as little as 1/1000th of an inch of motor oil protecting its parts. But friction and heat can make motor oil become volatile and vaporize, weakening its ability to protect vital parts. Texaco Haviland Formula 3 is formulated to control volatility, fight vaporization, and provide complete engine protection, no matter what you drive.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
Monroe developed SensorTrack shocks to smooth out the road for a comfortable ride. But SensorTrack doesn't stop there. It's the only shock that also gives you extra control when you need it most. SensorTrack shocks and struts, only by Monroe, for comfort and control.
When something fresh comes into your life at the exact moment you're ready for it, it's not coincidence. Aurora by Oldsmobile. See what happens when you demand better? Aurora.
This halftime report is brought to you by GMAC.
Oklahoma leads Colorado by 3. Welcome to the halftime report. The longest 1A winning streak belonged to Penn State at 20. Here comes Wisconsin for their first trip ever into Happy Valley against Jopa's team. Boy, was this a surprise. Paterno coaching in game number 500 as an assistant and a head coach. Badgers Up in the fourth, 10-3. Darrell Bevel, 21 yards to Tony Simmons, 17-3. Bevel, a great game. Penn State down 17-9 after they score. Trying to come back again. They get the ball back. Richardson to the tight end, Keith Oldsmer. Incomplete. And Paterno and Penn State shocked by Barry Alvarez and Wisconsin, snapping the 20-game win streak. Richardson was sacked 4 times. Penn State held under 100 yards rushing for the first time in 46 games. Coming in another big game today, Notre Dame at Ohio State. Lou Holtz watched this game on the sidelines. Third quarter, Ron Paulus looking for Derek Mays, intercepted by Sean Springs. Ohio State starting to take control of this game. Bobby Hoying finds Terry Glenn, and it's a foot race, and no one's going to win that race with Glenn. An 83-yard score, his second of the day. Ohio State scored on 5 consecutive possessions. Lou Holtz's team gave up 45. No Holtz Notre Dame team has ever given up that many. Brian Griese's Bob's son, he had good numbers in his first Michigan start, and the win. Southern Cal, we mentioned the 3 suspensions. They did a good job on the ground, and through the air, they found Keyshawn Johnson, who set an NCAA record on this play, 12th straight game, over 100 yards receiving. This 60-yard score, part of USC's 31-0 win. SC is the nation's best scoring defense. They've only allowed 27 points this year. Oregon State quarterback Tim Alexander combined for 322 yards of total offense, not enough against Washington. Tonight in the Commonwealth, Auburn taking on Kentucky. War Eagle. Heisman candidate Stephen Davis, a chance to explode with this quick burst through the Wildcat defense. 32 yards, one of 2 touchdowns on the day. That put Auburn up 21. They won by 21 despite Mo Williams' 164 yards. We'll tell you why later, but Arkansas will be alone atop the SEC West as they close out Vanderbilt. Florida ran just 59 plays, second lowest in the Spurrier era, but he wins 73 of his first 100 games as the Florida coach. Tennessee shuts out Oklahoma State. LSU, South Carolina, fourth quarter, 20-13 South Carolina. Tigers driving. Jamie Howard looking for Shedrick Wilton, playing on a severely sprained knee. 19-yard score. DiNardo kicks the point. Tied at 20. Stephen Florio's 53-yard chance to give the Gamecocks an upset win is not to be. So LSU is 2-0-1 in conference. That's why Arkansas is alone atop the West. We showed you the highlights. 6 Georgia turnovers as Alabama shuts out the dogs between the hedges. Number 2, Nebraska home for Washington State. Washington State scored first, led 7-0 after 1, then Tommy Frazier. An option to tie the game at 7. Frazier accounted for 3 touchdowns on the day, including this 20-yarder. He threw 1 as well. The nation's 4th-ranked rushing defense, Washington State, gave up 428 on the ground. Nebraska wins by 14. Bruce Snyder's 40th win, the winningest coach in Kansas State history. They have the 2nd-best scoring defense. Texas beat SMU, 21 straight Southwest Conference openers for the Longhorns. Baylor beats Texas Tech. They haven't lost a game since '92 when they've led at halftime. Virginia has now beaten Wake Forest 12 straight, and North Carolina State has to win their last 6 games to be eligible to go to a bowl. It's their worst start since 1971. Let's go to Norman, talk about this day and this night with Chris Lee and Craig.
Mike, thank you. The wind really starting to kick up here. This is as wild a scene as they've had in Norman since '85. That's going to be a factor, both the wind and the crowd in the second half. 2 great heavyweights going at it, each team answering the other with a big drive. But early on, Craig, the Oklahoma defense setting the tone.
Well, the coaching staff felt like OU's defense was better than Colorado's, and that they would not need to blitz a whole lot onto John HESSLER. And when you play the sound defense that they have and the aggressiveness up front, you really don't need to have the blitz package. Cedric Jones has been a man among boys on the field so far. John HESSLER early in the game gets busted right here. And this is the kind of play that puts something in the back of HESSLER's mind saying, do I want to take the next step? Cedric Jones told his teammates before the game, it's my birthday, fellas. Let's celebrate it. The party starts at 7:45 p.m., not a.m., and I'm going to have quarterbacks for my birthday.
You know, but John HESSLER really impressed me. I was on the sideline. He got hit 3 times. I thought he was coming out of the ball game. He's very tough. But the key play for Oklahoma was the block punt. Now, let me tell you why they blocked this punt. The center had to snap the ball against the wind. And Oklahoma had time to snap, and it hung against the wind. That's why they had time. Now, here comes a quarterback draw. The man in motion comes. They blitz the middle linebacker, and Eric Moore hits it. great call and a well-designed play in the clutch for Oklahoma.
Eric Moore, the freshman, a streak shooter, and he has certainly been hot tonight. Guys, now to other games. USC blanking Arizona State despite the suspensions, which include 2 defensive starters. You have to be impressed.
Reminds me of Nebraska. Nebraska had to deal with it as a team when Lawrence Phillips was suspended from the ball club. They lose their key players there. Keyshawn Johnson, their superstar playmaker, steps up the pace and does it for them.
One thing about Florida, you got to say this. If you're going to beat Florida, Ole Miss showed you the way. Keep the football away from their offense. They had 57 plays, the least amount since Spurrier's been there. You're going to beat Florida. That's the way to do it.
Ohio State and Notre Dame, the big game this afternoon. The Buckeyes, explosive offense. How do you handicap them against Penn State now?
I think Ohio State beats Penn State. I said that several weeks ago, and I thought they would do it. The power, overall power of Ohio State eventually put too much pressure on Notre Dame, and that's when you ended up having the mistakes by the Irish.
And also, Ohio State's so good, they're going to score 5 times against Penn State. Nobody can stop Hoying and Glenn and George. They're very, very good.
Where does Penn State go from here? Obviously held under 100 yards. Does this spell bad things for them for the rest of the season?
I think what it's going to spell is it's going to spell doom for somebody else, potentially Michigan down the road. Who's going to beat Ohio State? You think Michigan beats them down the road perhaps, but Penn State's a spoiler.
Yeah, but one thing about Penn State, all of them never losing at home in the Big Ten, done. That's important.
It's Ohio State and USC taking steps closer to the Rose Bowl. Meanwhile, fans in the know throwing tortillas here. No more oranges. This is for the Fiesta Bowl. The winner here in the second half takes a big step toward that game in Tempe. Mike Tirico ahead with more scores and highlights to the second half coming up.
Don't let a new car payment be a financial burden. Call 1-800-32-SMART. About Smart Lease by GMAC. It just might give you something you wouldn't mind carrying around. Don't let a new truck payment stretch you to the limit. Call 1-800-32-SMART. About Smart Lease by GMAC. It keeps new vehicles well within reach.
Everybody figures that dogs like to chase after things. Well, we do. To a point. But not over and over again.
Come along.
As for me, well, I don't go chasing after nothing that don't have soft hair, big eyes, bold yet smooth, easy to drink, and a real nice set of
Come here, Daddy.
teeth.
Enterprise? Hi, I'm at the repair shop. I need to rent a car.
Enterprise will arrange to pick you up,
This is great.
drive you to our place, and get you on your way. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Chances are it will outlast your car, and your furnace, and your roof. There's no telling what your Moen faucet might outlast. Moen. Buy it for looks. Buy it for life.
This GMAC halftime report is presented by GMAC Smart Lease. Want low monthly payments on a new GM vehicle? Call 1-800-32-SMART.
Oklahoma up 3. Prairie View, this could be the night that they set the all-division record for the most consecutive losses in college football at 51. That's one side of the story of the game in Dallas. The other is Eddie Robinson looking for career win, 399 junior running back Jeff Nichols. A 26-yard score. Grambling takes a 21-0 lead. They have a good quarterback, Kendrick Nord. 21-yard pass to Solomon Thompson. Grambling a 35-0 halftime lead, since then extending it. So it looks like Robinson's on his way to win 399. If this score holds up, he goes for number 400 next week on ESPN2 against Mississippi Valley State at 4 Eastern. Back to Division I, Arizona and California. Tell me chilling on the sidelines? Well, not really, because his team did have a struggle for a while. Brady Batten, the backup quarterback, finds Richard Dice, 40-yard score. Wildcats, despite having 3 extra points blocked and double digits in penalties, still win by 5. Dan White out of this game with a possible concussion. Utah has a lead on UTEP, but the Miners have just scored. It's now a 3-point game. Navy beat Duke at Wallace Wade Stadium. First time Navy has 2 road wins in a season since 1989. Mississippi State loses to Northeast Louisiana, which beat Kentucky last year, gets another SEC win on the road. Minnesota, no problem. They bounced back after the loss to Syracuse, their biggest win in 13 years. Speaking of the Orangemen, they rallied from down 17-3. Scored the last 24. They're 3-1. That's the best record in the Big East. Boston College has lost 3 games this year, all to Big Ten teams, including Michigan State today by 4. Northwestern's biggest win since they beat Indiana in 1975, but Corso beat them every year after that. Northwestern wins by 24. And Iowa's 3-0. They've won 7 in a row. Their quarterback, Matt Sherman's putting up some good numbers this year. Jay Parker kicked a field goal for Army on the final play of the game. They honor Blanchard and Davis and the great teams of the 40s and get a tie. North Carolina's most points since 1928 as they shut out Ohio. And San Jose State kicks a 42-yard field goal with 18 seconds left to get their first win of the season for Hall of Famer John Ralston. It's been a great first half in Norman. Great catch, too, by Juwan Penny, stretching out to get the Eric Moore toss, helping the Sooners up 3.
If your has a or a even a remember Santa Fe Auto. If your car or truck isn't as straight as it used to be, our body and paint specialists will repair the damage and get your vehicle back to you good as new. From minor dents and dings to major damage, you can count on us. We use the latest equipment and techniques from frame straightening to painting and guarantee all our work because quality work is all we do. Santa Fe Auto, 2 blocks east of the Wasatch McDonald's at 541 East Bijou.
The University of Oklahoma is ready to become a model and a pace setter for higher education in our country. For example, did you know that OU has more National Merit Scholars per capita than any public university in the United States? And that we're building a truly outstanding honors program with small classes taught by our very best faculty. Watch us. You'll be hearing a lot more about the University of Oklahoma.
We're back on the GMAC halftime report and checking the baseball situation. Seattle, a chance to win the West tonight, but Texas has come out with the big bats. A Mickey Tettleton first inning 3-run homer off of Andy Bennis has staked Texas to a big lead. They're now up 9-2. Seattle wins the West if California cannot rally to beat Oakland. The Yankees have clinched at least a wild card tie with their win today. Now in the National League, Colorado wins. They clinch a tie of at least the wild card. Chicago's eliminated. Houston's still alive. The Dodgers must win to maintain their lead over the Rockies. It all comes down to tomorrow or maybe the day after. Well, tomorrow on ESPN2, we will definitely have Houston-Chicago. If the Angels win, you'll see coverage of New York and Toronto. We'll show you both games at the same time. Go back and forth. And then, if there's a meaningful game for any of the 8 remaining playoff spots, you'll see it live right here on ESPN following our NASCAR race, which is the Holly Farms 400, featuring the return of Ernie Irvan to Winston Cup action. Great day tomorrow. Tonight in boxing, Roy Jones Jr. has successfully defended his IBF super middleweight title, landing 40-plus consecutive punches in getting his 30th win. Who's going to apply the knockout punch last in Norman? HESSLER's looked pretty good. Touchdown pass to Phil Savoy. This touchdown to Ray Caruth in the final 17 seconds, getting the Buffs within 3.
Don't let a new car payment be a financial burden. Call 1-800-32-SMART about Smart Lease by GMAC. It's an affordable way to drive off with a new GM vehicle. And it might even give you something you wouldn't mind carrying around.
The road doesn't always rise to meet you. The wind isn't always at your back. So for energy, always rely on a low-fat, highly nutritious Power Bar.
Back on the GMAC halftime report tonight at the Rose Bowl, Fresno State and Sweeney's teams always play well against Pac-10 teams. Right now, UCLA has a 10-0 lead. The last time these teams met, Troy Aikman was the UCLA quarterback and was sacked 10 times. Hasn't been that bad yet for the UCLA quarterbacks. We'll keep you updated on this during our second half. Coming up, we'll go back to Norman for the second half as these two unbeatens battle as advertised. Sooners by 3.
So you're at the game with Aunt Edna, and you get a great shot of your son's first hit. But you also happen to get an amazing shot of a UFO and an unbelievable shot of Bigfoot. But when you get the pictures back, you're disappointed. Well, now at Long's Drugs, you won't be. Long's new Advantage 35 in-store photo processing gives you the most advanced color correcting available. Your memories never leave the store till you take them. Photos so good, they'll make a believer out of you. Try it today at Long's Drugs, the best drugstore in town.
It's your fault the original Overhead Door Company had a banner year last year, and we're on our way to another one. Hey, you want to come along? You'll get quality overhead door products, professional employees with quick, exceptional service, and a company that still operates on a handshake. Look for the banner. It's proof you're looking at real overhead door products. The original, the best, the leader, Jim and Kevin McGuire's place at 1205 Ford Street.
Look out to the leader, overhead doors.
New set of academic standards for freshmen is now in effect. To practice, play, and receive an athletic scholarship, freshmen will need a minimum grade point average in at least 13 core courses in high school and a corresponding minimum score on the ACT or SAT. Ask your coach or guidance counselor about these new requirements. Prepare yourself now. It's never too early to hit the book.
This message provided by the NCAA.
17-14, Oklahoma leading over the Colorado Buffaloes as we're here at halftime. And Mike, off the top of the telecast, we talked about the two young quarterbacks. What kind of grades would you give them for the first half of play?
I give them both an A because I think both of them made big plays in the first half. Eric Moore here with a pass to Juwan Penny for the touchdown. Come right back with the other side, John HESSLER with his touchdown pass to Ray Caruth. Both have had big halves. And they really, Oklahoma's had a better running game, so they benefited Eric Moore more than John HESSLER's running game of Colorado. But Colorado started to get a little success in the running game there in the second quarter.
You and I talked during the halftime as you look at P.J. Mills, who's the deep man for the Sooners. And we felt as though that maybe HESSLER was kind of getting into the rhythm of the game more than in that first quarter.
I see more things open for him than I really do for Eric Moore on the other side.
Jason Leslie kicks it off, and this is P.J. Mills from the 6-yard line. And let's check in with Mike Adamle, who's with a special guest. Mike?
Troy, the numbers for John HESSLER, 14 of 22 touchdown passes. Looks like he's finally settled down a little bit.
Yeah, I think he is. You know, he's just got to get in his rhythm, and I think he did right there at the end of the second half, end of the first half. You know, he hit that touchdown pass, and, you know, he told me he felt real good about things. So
I know you guys, one of the reasons why you made the 66-man travel roster is to room with him on the road and to be with him on the sidelines. What kind of things did you discuss last night and at halftime?
Well, I just told him to settle down and take his time out there. And, you know, if he feels pressure, get out of there and make something big happen.
Notice you had the shoulder pads on and the knee brace on. before the game started. How do you feel? What's the prognosis?
I feel great. I just got to wait to get cleared by the doctors and all that. They want to take it slow and don't want to get any swelling in there, so I just got to wait for them.
Okay, Coy, thanks a lot. Good luck in the second half.
Coy Detmer, as you look at HESSLER on the sideline, 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. Oklahoma keeping the ball on the ground as they open this second half of play. And it is going to be a second down and short, and an injured player is James Allen, the junior out of Wynwood, Oklahoma. He was shaken up early on in the contest, and 19, Jeff Frazier, has come in replacing him. So we'll try to get an update as soon as we can on James Allen and his status. Gerald Moore, and he'll have the first down as he bangs his way out to the 35-yard line, and middle linebacker Matt Russell and Ryan Olson combining the stop.
Except for the fumble that Eric Moore had, which Colorado turned into a touchdown, Oklahoma's really played very disciplined on offense tonight. Their offensive line, which I thought was a question mark coming into this game, really has played well against this front of Colorado, and they've been able to control the ball on the ground and control the clock.
As he looks up and sees Colorado showing blitz, and here they come, and they'll try to take it on the sweep. No place to go to the right. Frazier reverses it, and he's going to turn it into a profit as Mike Phillips will make the stop. The ball has come loose, but they say it is dead at the 38-yard line. And Mike, let's take a look at the first half stats, and what kind of story do you see here?
Well, again, I think the fact that Colorado, when you look at the rushing yards, only 32 rushing yards. This is a team that 3 times this year has had 200-plus rushing yards and 200-plus passing yards in the same game. So they've got to find an answer there to run the football. They've not been able to get the big play against this Oklahoma defense yet.
Well, Frazier almost caught for a loss, and he winds up with a gain of 4. Short drop this time, gets it out to Mills. Tried to break off the tackle, but he couldn't get away from Kenny Wilkins.
That was a good tackle by Kenny Wilkins. 3-step drop by Eric Moore. You like to throw that quick passing game, especially when teams are blitzing on you, because you know they can pick up the blitz and you're going to get the ball off before they get to the quarterback. Good call again by Gary Nord, who has 110 people here tonight from Kentucky. He had to spend $1,300 on tickets tonight. You'd figure that they'd find a way to... Yeah, not that many tickets, right? 110 tickets. Not so fast.
Third down and short. The line to make is the 45. They come back into the boundary with the pitch. And with the hit, I don't think he got it. Russell is right there to make the hit on Gerald Moore. I think the Sooners are looking at the 4th down.
I think you're right. There's the emotional leader of that defense, Matt Russell, whereas number 16 is a middle linebacker. He's an in-between tackle guy. He's going to make a lot of plays. You see, he's faking the blitz. Now he steps into the block. Now he'll scrape off to the left side, unblocked, makes the tackle on Gerald Moore.
Brian Lewis will stand back to kick, waiting for this one at the 28-yard line. And he has got that gusting wind behind him as you look at Steve Roska, who is back in a single safety for CU. Pressure up the middle, and they got it. Partially blocked. Brandon Southward is the man who got the block, number 46. So it is a 10-yard kick, and Colorado will take it over at their own 44-yard line. So let's take a timeout. 11:21 left in this third quarter. Sooners by 3.
College sports on DirecTV. Takes me back to my days of digging in on the goal line, making my moves from the top of the key. Because I get hundreds of college football and basketball games I can't get on cable. Even my alma maters. Ah, the long hours of practice, the uniforms, the camaraderie. I was the best horn player in the band.
Now for as low as $34.95 a month, you can own the 18-inch DSS dish of your choice with DirecTV programming. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Ah, the joys of a minivan. That big sliding door, the heavy removable third seat. And those rear windows that don't roll down. Oh, what could be better? Introducing Odyssey. With 4 doors and an easy fold-away rear seat. It's not just a minivan. It's a Honda.
Before introduction, a Moen faucet is tested at least 500,000 times against leaks and drips. So it's hard to find a more reliable faucet, no matter how you look at it. Moen. Buy it for looks. Buy it for life.
Now at Pep Boys, get any 4 of our 35,000-mile all-season steel-belted tires at an incredible low $109. That's right, any 75 or 80 series, any 4, just $109 at Pep Boys now.
ESPN's presentation of CFA Primetime is brought to you by American Honda, celebrating their 25th anniversary of selling cars in America. And by Discus Athletic Activewear. Discus Athletic, the way America plays. Well, a lot of great ones here at OU. 97 All-Americans, but maybe none greater than these 3 Heisman Award winners, Billy Sims, Billy Vessels, and Steve Owens. If you just joined us, the kick has been blocked, and only 10 yards did it advance downfield to Colorado with great field position. Ball is fumbled on the ground, and HESSLER makes his own recovery following a collision.
Here's the punt block to play before. Brandon Southward is going to come through. Now here's the missed block. It's by the up back. It's Michael Rose, number 20. Just doesn't pick him up. And there's the block kick. Both teams getting a kick blocked in this ball game.
Marlon Barnes is coming at running back, number 9, the sophomore out of Memphis. Pass this time to Anderson, though, and he'll take it to the 40-yard line. Wrapped up by Tyrell Peters and also Wendell Davis.
Pulled down by number 28, Wendell Davis.
Russell on the sideline. Looks like he's having an equipment problem, so hustling to retie that shoe. 17-14, Oklahoma. But Colorado with a big opportunity here, but they got to convert now on a 3rd down play. They got to take it all the way to the OU 44. Caught it out of bounds. Marlon Barnes got the ball, but Martin Chase was all over quarterback John HESSLER.
John HESSLER tried to slide to the left side, and he slid right to Martin Chase, number 93, and he just put that ball up for grabs. That was a hope and a prayer on that pass.
Win, lose, or draw in this football game, the Colorado coaching staff is going to say to their team on Monday, guys, we left so many opportunities on the field and did not take advantage of Saturday night. Andy Mitchell back to punt. ESPN is your home for college football again next Saturday. At 11:30, it all starts with College Game Day. At 12:30, Michigan takes on Northwestern. At 3:30 and 7, catch up on all the scores and highlights. And at 7:30, see if Miami can slow down the Florida State Seminoles. At 10:30, we put a period on the day. Eric Moore brings his club out. They have a first down at the 16-yard line. Frazier back in the lineup, replacing James Allen. He gets the fake, and Moore will take it all the way to the sideline and just throw it away. And let's go to Mike Tirico.
Ron, another update on baseball. Roger McDowell of the Texas Rangers gets Vince Coleman to induce this fly ball to center field, ending the game. So that means if California loses, Seattle wins the West. They back in. And if California loses, the Yankees win the wild card. Seattle does not clinch the West on their own thus far tonight.
Ron, one of these two teams is going to get a big play, and it's going to change the course of this football game. They've had some big play opportunities, just have not been able to take advantage.
And the second down play, this is Gerald Moore, who will take it out to around the 20-yard line, and now they got a third down and long.
Gerald Moore, nicknamed Thunder. He looks like Thunder. 5'8", 226. He's going to be a good back for some team in the NFL someday as the one-back player back there, because he's got great hands, built low to the ground. He's got accelerate. He's got it all.
He really does have good acceleration, Mike, which gives him an added weapon with that body, that stocky body that a lot of backs don't have.
You'd like to get the ball to him in the passing game because he has really got some great hands.
Blitz coming right up the middle. Moore has time to get it away, but that's what the pressure forced him to do. Threw it too quickly, and it was Kerry Hicks who was all over him.
Kerry Hicks, the player last week that blocked the A&M field goal that kept the score at 21-20. The starter and defensive line for Bill McCartney for all those years, and now Rick Neuheisel.
You remember I said he always has a big play. He had to block that field goal last week against Texas A&M, which was giant. Let's see if Brian Lewis can get this one away, and everybody picks up their man. Pressure up the middle, and I'll tell you what, I'm not too sure that Southward didn't get a piece of this one. But it takes an Oklahoma bounce and a huge cheer from the crowd as this one is going to go inside the 30-yard line. So they wind up with a 51-yard boot. Timeout on the field. Let's take it with them. We'll be right back.
Come on, move the car. Hey, move the car. Hey, what is wrong with you? Move the...
Hello, Gary, Stan. What's new on the aircraft financing?
Good news.
Yeah?
Matter of fact, I just heard from First Union.
Whoa, that was quick.
Yeah, it's a solid proposal, and the lease will let us do things our way.
That's key. When can they close?
They're ready when we are.
Great work. Gary, let's get them on board now. Once this thing gets going, it's going to move pretty fast.
They always do.
Perhaps it's because we offer our business class passengers complimentary limousines, sleeper seats with up to 15 inches of extra legroom, and personal video screens at every seat. Or it may just be our refreshingly different British personality. Whatever the reason, it seems we put a few noses just a bit out of joint. Upper Class by Virgin Atlantic Airways.
Get ready for an SEC West border war. Mississippi State versus Auburn. Thursday at 8, only on ESPN.
Oklahoma 17-14, and Mike, what in the world is going on special teams?
Well, first of all, 10-man rush. Your center is not going to block anybody. Now, this is Southward again. He's going to come through. We're going to watch him come through, and we'll stop it here in a second. I'll show you what the problem is. Stop it right here. That's the personal protector now, number 27, Colin Southward, Colin Rosenberg. He just misses the block. And now you got another possibility of a kick block. He didn't get to it that time.
He didn't get to it, but
close.
But he forced him to get away a very high and short kick, but they got a good bounce. Barnes the setback, and he takes the deep handoff. Good job by that OU defense. Simpson, along with Martin Chase, combining to stop him.
Slow development plays against this Oklahoma defense. You can forget about it because they run too well. They recover. They get off blocks. All those three of those linebackers, we had that Bermuda triangle of linebackers at Louisville the other night were pretty good linebackers. I don't know what this triangle would be called, but these are three really solid backers that can run.
They did lose a yard, so it's going to be second down. The line to make is out at the 40. Play action. HESSLER over the middle, got a man wide open. They blew a coverage, and it's Caruth. And remember, he can fly. going to catch him. Touchdown, Colorado. You remember I told you some people say he's under 4'2". You get him in the open field, forget it.
Well, I said it earlier. Somebody's going to get a big play and going to take over this football game, and it's Colorado.
71 yards.
Interesting about Ray Caruth, who caught that touchdown pass. He's a running back in high school, and Colorado under Bill McCartney recruited a lot of running backs and then moved him to wide receiver. This is Ray Caruth. Runs under a 4.340, and you, like you said, Rod Henderson, you forget it. Strike up the band because you're not going to catch him.
71 yards, and just like that, the Buffaloes have gone on top. Boscarichian to attempt the extra point, and he's got it. So we'll take a break. 7:54 left in the third quarter, and all of a sudden, the Buffaloes are warming up.
Oklahoma 17.
Introducing a towering achievement. Its document handler resets originals. An auto stacker gathers collated sets all by itself. An electronic brain even monitors image quality. The new Meta DC6090 has the technology to get things done, whether you're there or not. Extension cords not included.
I'm Ed Burcham. When my name's on it, I guarantee it.
When Dave Thomas, the founder of Wendy's, suddenly has a craving for his big bacon mushroom melt, he'll drive any distance and face any obstacle to get one. Because it's a quarter pound of fresh beef, 3 strips of bacon, and mushrooms in a cheddar cheese sauce, all on a toasted Kaiser bun. Wendy's bacon mushroom melt.
When you gotta have one, you gotta have one.
Come in and try our bacon mushroom melt today, only at Wendy's.
Here's an update on the baseball situation. They're tied at 1, LA and San Diego in the 5th. The Dodgers must win to stay ahead of Colorado in the National League West race. The wild card is still active as well. Tomorrow on ESPN2, you'll definitely see Houston at Chicago. May also see coverage of the Yankees at Toronto. Then, here on ESPN, after the NASCAR race, any game that has significance in filling one of the 8 Major League Baseball playoff spots, you'll see. If there are more than one at the same time, we'll bounce you around. Ron?
Colorado 21, Oklahoma 17. For the first time in the night, the Buffaloes are leading. Look at the scoring drive. 2 plays, 69 yards, 48 seconds is what they needed.
That's a big play offense in Colorado. They get you in that too tight game, and they run the football, and they've got so much speed on the outside. They're always capable of hitting you with that big play.
Jason Leslie from Palacios, Texas will kick it off. Transferred in from UCLA. And they use him specifically for kickoffs. Got under this one, kicking into the wind. Mills on the run from the 13. And let's check in with Mike Adama. He's got more on Caruth. Mike?
Well, Ron and Mike, we always have known that the Buffaloes possess great team speed, and we just found out why Ray Caruth is the fastest of the Buffaloes. But this past spring, indoors with attendance of several pro scouts, watch here, he runs a legit 4.240. What's really amazing about Ray is that he's a guy who can do it with a pair of shoulder pads on and a helmet. So many times we've seen track athletes not be able to compete as football players, but Ray Caruth can.
Mike, I think you'd get a total endorsement from that OU secondary after that last play of 71 yards. Pitch, man at the top of the eye. There's nothing there for Allen, and now this Colorado defense is aroused after that long touchdown.
They've kind of taken control of this football game just before half. When they made that play, that 4th and 1, the quarterback sneaked and threw the touchdown pass. They have had control since that point. Blocked that, had the punt block, and they're in control right now. Eric Moore has to find the answer now.
Biggest thing that they've done also, Mike, they have taken this partisan crowd out of the ball game for the moment. See the pressure right up the middle. Hit by Murkison. He is going to be sacked, and I had to wait for a moment. I thought that he grabbed him by the face mask when he made the tackle.
They're doing so much blitzing inside to see number 33, Ron Murkison, just come through free. James Allen tried to block him, but that angle's too tough. James Allen, where he's lined up, he can't get to Ron Murkison before he gets to Eric Moore.
So the loss is 7 yards, and it's going to be now a 3rd down, and the line to make is all the way out at the 35.
Now what Colorado would like to do is bait the young quarterback into an interception.
From the shotgun, Moore rolls the pocket. He's going to go on top, going for it all. And overthrown and out of bounds. Juwan Penny is who he wanted. T.J. Cunningham with cover on the play.
And T.J. Cunningham was a receiver last year. He's an excellent tackler. That's A.J. Kristoff, the defensive coordinator, that's brought this blitzing style of defense. Howard Snellenberger's seen a lot of this in his past, so he knows he got to find some answers. T.J. Cunningham, good coverage. See if they solve this protection problem they have.
10-man rush again. Wobbly kick, but he's going with the win, and the fair catch is made at the 42-yard line by Roscoe. Well, final round coverage continues tomorrow for the PGA Buick Challenge. Fred Funk and Steve Stryker tied for the lead at 11 under par. And from Tanglewood Country Club, the Cadillac Senior PGA Tour Vantage Championship. Hale Irwin and Dave Stockton tied at 10 under par. All final round coverage tomorrow.
John HESSLER would like to take the nails and the hammer right now and start hammering away at this defense of Oklahoma.
Now a 3rd tailback on the night for Colorado is Lyndon Henry, a sophomore from Port Arthur, Texas. Number 39 checks into the backfield. And it's Henry who gets the handoff, and he'll take it for 3, maybe 4. DeQuacy puts the stop on him.
Kurt Van Valkenburg, a defensive coordinator for Howard Snellenberger, is doing a nice job against the run. See Howard Snellenberger maybe telling the defensive tackles wants a little bit more inside move. They've been angling and slanting all night out of those 2 defensive tackles.
OU's defense has had to play a lot in the last quarter. They need a big play right here, though.
Well, Colorado's big plays, 7 big plays in this game. That's what you have to shut down when you shut down Colorado.
HESSLER rolls the pocket, throws the completion to McCarty, but the hit is made immediately, and it's going to be 3rd down and long for CU.
Man coverage by Oklahoma, so they were right on the tight end, Tennyson McCarty.
21-17. Colorado leading over Oklahoma as we're about to go under 5 minutes to play 3rd quarter. And this home crowd asking their defense to give them a stop right here. Pass is complete. Caruth again. And that's going to be enough for the Colorado 1st down at the Oklahoma 44.
I'm sure Oklahoma knows how fast Ray Caruth is also, and you're just going to see the big cushion again on the side where Ray Caruth is on. Corners bailing out, strong safety working inside, but Ray Caruth coming from that inside receiver against Darius Johnson. Just not able to cover him.
18 of 25. Play action. He's looking to go long. And Savoy is who he wanted, and Savoy got turned around. Larry Bush was the closest man to it. And Mike Tirico, let's check back with you.
Ron, Colorado's one of 15 Division 1A schools to have to go to a backup quarterback because of injury. UCLA's in that mix. Cade McNown's 11 of 12 tonight, including this touchdown pass to Jim McElroy. Neuheisel's alma mater is up 17.
Like I've never seen so many left-handed quarterbacks all of a sudden.
Kenny Stabler. I mean, that was the guy. He started all this.
Oh, my. 2nd down and 10. Line of scrimmage, the Oklahoma 44. pressure, breaks down, and another sack by Oklahoma. That's twice they've gotten to him, and it's Cedric Jones.
That's why he may be the best defensive lineman in the country, because he is good against the run, and he's good in pass rush. Number 57, working on an inside move. Clinton Moore just gave him up. He thought he was going to get some help from the guard, but he didn't get any help, and Cedric Jones helped himself to John HESSLER.
Boy, now
that was big there.
I'm telling you, it is now a 3rd down and 20 as you look at 6 tackles, 6 hurries, and 2 sacks by Cedric Jones, the senior from Houston, Lamar. Screen back to the near side of the field. They got blockers in front. At the 30, and Henry finally run out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Boy, did they catch Oklahoma in the right defense.
Well, what they were doing is that they had long yardage situation, and they know that number 57 is going to put his ears back and come. So what is the best way to handle the pass rush is just run a screen pass. Get your guard out in front. Work him, let him come on in, and now get the screen to Landon Henry, number 39. Good blocking, Heath Irwin, Brian Stoltenberg.
Stoltenberg just absolutely destroyed the defensive player.
That's how you help your offensive lineman with pass rush, though. A good call.
Troutman is back in the ball game, and he's going to take it for a gain of about 4, maybe 5.
We talked about this earlier. When you've been in as many big games as this ball club has, under Bill McCartney for the last 4 years at the 5th-year seniors, or 3 years if you're a senior, and now under Rick Neuheisel, you get used to playing these kind of games. Their schedule this year, they played 4 ranked teams in the first 5 games, so they're used to these big nights.
Troutman, and he's going to battle. Here comes a late flag in as he goes inside the 15. Peters made the stop on him. So the Buffalo Express gets derailed for a moment as holding is called on Colorado.
About the conversation with Rick Neuheisel when he said he went down to visit Steve Spurrier and talked a little bit about how he was going to be able to handle being the head coach, but he also wanted to still be the quarterback coach, and he wanted to find out how Steve Spurrier spent his time, which is a good move for him.
Thought the other thing, investing with him last night and asking him about his youth and young ideas, and was he going to kind of go against the grain as far as some habits that older coaches have. In a statement he made, he said, you know, there's no underestimating having fun. He said, I want focus, discipline, intensity, all that stuff, but also want my kids to have fun, and so far they are.
It's a good way to do that. Win.
Yep. Over the middle. Savoy almost intercepted. Anthony Fogle is the man who tipped it. And HESSLER really kind of gambled on that.
Well, he did, and Kurt Van Valkenburg, the defensive coordinator, had the perfect defense on for this play. He's got Anthony Fogle sitting in center field for the interception. He just didn't make the interception for Howard Snellenberger. Here's the throw down the middle to Phil Savoy, but number 9, Anthony Fogle's got this interception. He needs to make this play. Can't give Colorado too many chances. Now, you have the interception, you drop the ball. Now Colorado has to make Oklahoma pay for that.
It is 3rd down and 16. Swings it out. That's Henry. And Henry breaks the tackle and is on his way. He will score. And Oklahoma pays.
Defense complete. Number 39, Lyndon Henry, who carried in for the touchdown.
And now there is a late flag in the end zone.
Good ball.
They may have heard our conversation today about the celebration roll. But Ron, Howard Snellenberger is going to look back at this tape, and he's going to look at a lot of different things in this ballgame. His team's not quite where Colorado is. And then again, the big play, a big game philosophy of Colorado is paying off right now in the 3rd quarter. But they're not making the plays. And when you miss an interception like that and give a good ball club one more shot, they're going to hurt you.
Howard said on Thursday afternoon during the practice that, you know, he said, we're still a distance away, but this is our first big test. But he said, I'd rather play us early than I had late because we're going to get better with every ball game. Voskerichian knocks home the extra point, and as we go to break, let's take one more look. Oh, we're going to stay here. And what a great individual effort by Lyndon Henry.
Yeah, it was a good safe call. Melvin Thomas, the right tackle, the inexperienced tackle. You're going to see him out there. He gets the block on Broderick Simpson. Now the other blocks. Now the cutback by Landon Henry. There's the missed tackle by Larry Bush, and it's into the end zone. And the nails are coming out again into the coffin of Oklahoma. Missed block there. Missed tackle by Malin Wesley. There's another one. Wendell Davis, number 28. You can't miss all those tackles.
By the way, you could see 65, Chris Nioli downfield. Their offensive linemen, particularly Irvin, Stoltenberg, and Nioli, the two guards in the tackle, they are devastating downfield, Mike. They don't miss.
And Howard's upset because he knows that he's got this crowd in here tonight, and he really has kind of played the Pied Piper, and he went out on the limb and said, we're going to win this game. And really, the reason he did that was to give his players some confidence because he felt like they'd been beaten down the last few years. They didn't have the confidence that they had the Barry Switzer years here.
And I think what Howard was saying right there is lock up. Don't just hit people, but lock up on the tackle.
You're talking about Chris Nioli, number 65. Didn't practice most of the week because of an injured ankle. Came back tonight and really playing a good, solid game for the Buffaloes.
So Jason Leslie will kick it off for Colorado, and another 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct.